The Healer King Part 2, by the time we turned 16, everyone in our class had changed. Some students had become taller, some had become stronger, some had become more mature. Lena and Marcus had become more annoying. At least in my opinion, not that they bullied me as often anymore. The problem was that every attempt had failed for 4 years. Eventually, even they realized it. Unfortunately, that didn't make them stop trying. One morning, our instructor announced a combat exercise. Not actual combat, just controlled sparring. Fire users would face water users would face fire users. Healers would support injured students afterward. The moment the announcement ended, Marcus smirked. "Looks like you'll be watching from the sidelines again." I looked up from my notebook. "Probably. You don't mind?" "No," his smile faded. "Seriously, why would I? You don't want to fight?" I closed the notebook. "I enjoy winning. So why would I enter a competition designed for fire and water users?" Several students nearby laughed. Marcus groaned. "Talking to you is exhausting." "Then stop." More laughter. The instructor had to tell everyone to settle down. The sparring tournament lasted 3 days. Lena performed well. Marcus performed well. Neither won. That fact annoyed them greatly, especially when they learned I had won first place in the academic competition held during the same week. Again. "Aiden!" I looked up. Lena stood beside my desk. The entire classroom immediately became interested. Whenever Lena approached me, entertainment usually followed. "What? You know what's unfair?" I thought about it. "Taxes?" Several students laughed. She rolled her eyes. "I'm serious." "So am I." "No, you're not." "Fair." The class laughed again. Lena took a deep breath. "You're good at everything." "Not everything." "Name one thing." "Singing." The room became quiet. Then someone remembered the school music festival, a horrifying event. I had participated once, never again. The entire class burst out laughing. Even Lena struggled not to smile. Unfortunately for her, she noticed me noticing. Her smile disappeared instantly. "I still don't like you." "That's okay." "Why?" "Not everyone has good taste." The classroom exploded with laughter. Lena walked away before she embarrassed herself further. Life continued. Training, classes, competitions, the usual, until the day everything changed. It happened near the end of the school year. Most students had already gone home. The campus felt unusually quiet. I was walking across one of the training fields when I noticed 2 familiar figures waiting ahead. Lena, Marcus. Neither looked happy. Actually, they looked furious. I immediately knew this wouldn't be a pleasant conversation. "We need to talk," Marcus said. "That sounds ominous." "I'm serious." "So am I." Neither laughed. Interesting. Usually one of them reacted by now. Instead, Marcus stepped closer. "You think you're better than everyone." "No, you act like it." "No, you always have an answer." I shrugged. "Would you prefer questions?" Lena clenched her fists. For some reason, that answer seemed to make things worse. Years of frustration appeared on their faces. 4 years. 4 years of losing arguments. 4 years of comparisons. 4 years of teachers praising me. 4 years of feeling second best. I suddenly realized this wasn't about a single conversation. This was about everything, every failure, every embarrassment, every moment they had spent comparing themselves to me, and they were tired of it. "You know what?" Lena snapped. "What? I'm done." "Done with what?" "All of it." I sighed. "That's very specific." Then she attacked. Fire exploded from her hand. For a split second, I simply stared, not because I was afraid, because I couldn't believe what she had done. Students weren't allowed to attack each other, especially not outside supervised training. The punishment for something like this could destroy a person's future. Yet Lena didn't seem to care. The fire struck my shoulder. Pain shot through my body. The force pushed me backward. Before I fully recovered, Marcus attacked too. Water crashed into me like a wave. I hit the ground hard. For several seconds, neither of them moved. Neither did I. The field became completely silent. The attack had actually worked, for the first time in years. They had managed to hurt me. Something inside me snapped, not physically, emotionally. Years of patience vanished. Years of tolerance disappeared. I wasn't angry because they attacked me. I was angry because they had thrown away everything. Their training, their futures, their common sense, all because they couldn't handle losing. The healing energy inside my body suddenly surged, far stronger than ever before. The familiar warmth became something else, something deeper, something older. A strange understanding filled my mind. A realization. Healing wasn't merely the restoration of life, it was the control of life itself. And if life could be strengthened, then life could be weakened. Lena raised her hand again. Another fire attack began forming, then she froze. The flames vanished instantly. What? Her face turned pale. The fire disappeared completely. Lena stumbled, her knees shook. She looked exhausted, as if she had spent days without sleep. What happened? For the first time in my life, I genuinely didn't know, but somehow I understood, instinctively, naturally. My power had done something. Marcus stepped backward. Lena tried lifting her arm. Nothing happened. The strength simply wasn't there. Fear appeared in her eyes, real fear, not anger, not frustration. Fear. What did you do? Marcus asked. His voice sounded smaller than usual. I slowly stood. The injuries on my body healed instantly. Burns vanished. Bruises disappeared. Pain faded. The process took only seconds. Marcus stared. Lena looked horrified. Then I noticed something strange. I felt stronger, not dramatically, not enough to transform me into a warrior, but stronger, as though some of Lena's energy had become mine. The realization sent a chill down my spine. I suggest, I said calmly, that you never attack me again. Neither argued, neither insulted me, neither even looked me in the eye, for the first time since we had met. Lena and Marcus were speechless. They left immediately. I remained alone on the field, trying to understand what had happened, trying to understand what my power had become, or perhaps, what it had always been. Over the next few weeks I began experimenting, carefully, very carefully. I couldn't tell anyone, not yet. Nobody had ever mentioned healing abilities behaving like this. If I wanted answers, I would need to find them myself. The first discovery came accidentally. I tested my power on a dying plant. Normally, healing energy restored damage. This time I tried something different. Instead of restoring life, I attempted to reduce it. The plant wilted immediately. I nearly dropped it. Then I reversed the process. Golden energy flowed again. The plant recovered within seconds. I stared at it for several minutes, then tested it again. Same result. Again, same result. Again, same result. The evidence became impossible to ignore. Healing and weakening, creation and deterioration. Two sides of the same power. I could do both. Naturally, I trained every day, secretly, relentlessly. The stronger my control became, the more possibilities appeared. I could make plants healthier or weaker. I could accelerate recovery. Or induce exhaustion. Nothing dangerous, nothing permanent, but enough to prove the concept. Enough to convince me that I had discovered something important, very important. Meanwhile, school continued, and surprisingly, Lena and Marcus changed, not completely, but noticeably. They still disliked me. That much was obvious. However, after the incident, neither tried provoking me as often. Whenever our eyes met, I noticed something new: uncertainty. They no longer looked at me the same way. At first, I found it amusing, then I found it useful, because for the first time in years, they stopped wasting my time. The final 2 years of school passed quickly. Students became stronger. Competitions became harder. Expectations became higher. Everyone prepared for life after graduation, including me, especially me, because every day my secret ability grew stronger, and every day I became more convinced that healing was far more powerful than anyone realized, including me. By the time graduation approached, I had mastered skills nobody else even knew existed. And soon, the entire kingdom was about to discover them, because just as our school years came to an end, war arrived, and war changes everything, to be continued.